Hey kids, it's Dean with Crypto the Wonder Dog Show. Today, episode 35, we have Charlie with us today. We're going to be talking crypto tax havens, IRS loopholes, the wonderful, wonderful IRS that just it's a loving, warm embrace every April to your checkbook. Hong Kong and Russia, they want your ICO. Before we talk with Charlie, let's discuss some betting. Let's discuss you going to Vegas and fighting that traffic, fighting those long lines at the airport, or would you rather just do it from the comfort of your couch? You can do that now with our buddies over at mybookie.ag. Crypto can be a gamble, and we all seen the roller coaster it's been on. But if you've been lucky, you sold at the right time, and you've recently bought, you're probably up a little bit. So take some of that earnings, take some of that winning. Go over to mybookie.ag. You put in WonderDog at the promo code, and you're going to get a 50% bonus on your deposit, on your initial deposit. You can't beat that anywhere. You can't go to Vegas and say WonderDog at the craps table and expect them to throw down another 50% of your hard-earned money. Besides that, you're going to be able to actually use your Bitcoin Cash, your Litecoin, and payouts are incredibly fast and anonymous with cryptocurrencies. So, today, tomorrow, whenever, just get over there. Go to mybookie.ag, put in promo code WonderDog, let them know the Wonder Puppy sent you. And it's just like going to Vegas without the long lines, the smoke. Drunk guy next to you at the craps table bumping into you and knocking your chips out of your hand. Avoid all of that. Sit at your couch, play it, enjoy it. mybookie.ag. All right, you guys ready to start the show? All right, let's start the show. And of course, we always have some kind of a mix-up whenever we're trying to do this live. All right, Charlie.
Hola.
All right.
Good to hear from you again, my friend.
Yeah, where the hell you been?
Here and there, sneaking by.
Yeah. So, you're up in the north, upper northwest there. What's the weather like for you?
Oh, it's gorgeous, man. It's well, rainy and wet. What else is new? I would just want to talk real briefly about Netflix. You know, Netflix is just going crazy, man. They got well over 100 million subscribers. Remember, we did a show on decentralization about a month ago, and we talked about Netflix taking over film production, and that everything's going to be moving up there. And yep, sure enough, we were kind of prescient. We were aware and prophetic. So, hey, go listen to that, folks. Go listen to our decentralization. I can't remember exactly which one, but it's on decentralization. Go take a listen to it and see that Dean and I know a few things here and there.
Yeah. Where are we starting at today? Where are we gonna talk about first?
Remember when you used to take those tests in school, and you were always asked to compare and contrast, and how you hated it? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to compare and contrast different countries, or three countries actually, and how their crypto policies in terms of tax and regulation either vary or are the same, or compare to each other, or they contrast. And we're going to take a look at China, or actually Hong Kong, Russia, and the United States. And at this point in time, because we're paying taxes, it seemed appropriate. And I thought we'd start with that and go forward from there. I know our audience would probably be pretty interested in hearing this, because you have to go to the alternative media to try and figure out what other countries are doing. Mainstream media here in the United States isn't going to tell you much. So that's our job, is to try and elevate the information and bring it to our audience.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about the Bitcoinist right now. Bitcoinist.com, major tax break under new U.S. tax code. Cryptocurrency investors lose major tax break. Sorry, major
right.
major tax. Okay. So what did you find out here?
Well, the IRS has amended something called the IRC, which is Internal Revenue Code Section 103 of 1031A1. It's the loophole used to be that if you traded Bitcoin or traded cryptocurrencies, they considered it a like-kind exchange, and you were exempt from tax. Well, that's shut down. That's not happening anymore. They're looking at this strictly and straight up as a capital asset. You sold it. You have got to, you're going to have to declare that income, and it's going to have to be, have a capital gains tax imposed on it. So that's pretty important information as compared to other nations that don't do that. We talked about Germany, and Germany has become pretty much a tax haven, a crypto haven, primarily because they don't tax it. And they lightly regulate it. On top of that, the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, not the football conference, is going to look into more, to do more profound regulation and oversight of cryptocurrencies and blockchain transactions. I'm not saying any of this is a bad thing. I'm not making any sort of qualitative judgment. I'm not saying that there should not be taxes or there should not be regulation. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply pointing this out. And neither Dean nor I advocate that you evade taxes. We say if you have a tax, pay it. You can avoid taxes. That's legal. You can put your money in an investment that's sanctioned by the IRS that helps you avoid paying a tax, but you can't evade a tax. If that means you've gotten into a taxable event, there's a tax that's been imposed, and you got to pay it. So I just want to just to clear the air. Full reporting. Pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes.
We don't want you coming back and saying, those two guys on crypto, they said,
yes, throw us under the bus. Baby. Yes.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
so,
man.
But that's one of the things that's important. That in fact, it's vital to understand if you're going to be engaging in cryptocurrency transactions or investing. You really have to know that. And now the thing that's interesting is that's in comparison to what's happened in China, or specifically Hong Kong, because I sent you that article from Cointelegraph. Our buddies at Cointelegraph did a story.
Despite crackdown on trading, crypto and blockchain are alive, and China are alive. China has banned cryptocurrency trading and ICOs in late 2017 and reaffirmed its negative stance towards the market this year. Still, local developers are continuing to introduce innovative blockchain projects on the global stage. So they're still working on. You can still do. There's still the technology, the motors that's running all of these cryptocurrencies. The motor is still legal. You just can't trade it.
Well, yeah, you can't trade it. But what happened was, according to Cointelegraph, some of the biggest exchanges, cryptocurrency exchanges, just moved to Hong Kong, and that was what's interesting is that, and they just resumed crypto trading just in that jurisdiction.
Huh.
And while Hong Kong is part of China, it still has a certain amount of sovereignty in terms of its business practices, how they treat corporations, and their tax policies. And according to what I've been reading, Hong Kong is saying, "Hey, listen, we want to make it more of a haven as well, and we don't have a capital gains tax. We don't have a lot of the various taxes that we have here in the United States, like inheritance and a lot of those kinds of things. They don't have them in Hong Kong. So cryptocurrency trading is continuing there. They don't do a lot of oversight as well. So that can be a good or bad thing. I mean, if you don't have a lot of oversight, like we were talking, before, if you don't have that, you have sort of the penny stock market that has no currency or no regulations. They don't have to audit any of the corporations or companies that trade on the penny stock over-the-counter market. So I'm not necessarily saying this is a good thing. I'm just pointing out the difference between the United States and Hong Kong. But the funny thing about China is that China is going to allow cryptocurrency to be used in trading. So I guess what they want to do is just knock out the speculation. They want to tamp that out, and pretty much use cryptocurrency as a actual means of transmission, which is kind of that kind of tells you this kind of schizophrenia that's going on with cryptocurrencies at the moment, because like we've talked to, I think the people from Mariah Coin, that was one of our very first interviews, and they talked about that their currency or their tokens are going to be used both as a means of just buying and selling, and also as an investment. And so there's that duality that exists with cryptocurrencies that a lot of people are just beginning to explore.
Yeah.
And I think here in the United States, they're coming down and saying, no, we're going to have to regulate this, at least at the federal level. This is important. At the federal level, they're saying, no, we're going to have to regulate it. But then you have a state like Wyoming that says, no, we're not. We're not going to, at the state level, we're not going to regulate it. We're not going to tax it. We're going to not do any real oversight of this thing. So, again, if the cryptocurrencies meet certain, state benchmarks, which is, to me, really interesting, and tells you that this is a brand new technology, at least not a brand new technology, but a new technology in terms of its accessibility to the public. And they really don't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah, it's still the wild, wild west out there when it comes to this, and I think the powers at the government level, they don't know what to do with it. I don't think they're doing enough information. They're not researching enough, and I think it's the people in the space. I think it's their responsibility to get out and let them know on a level that they can understand that a lot of these things they shouldn't be doing, because it's just hindering the progress of technology, of people earning money in a way that they haven't been able to in the past, and it's just a new way to make money, I think, right?
Well, yeah, and that's the point, is that I think a lot of the powers that be, the traditional ways of trading and doing financial speculation and wealth building may be coming under a threat, because when you go, in fact, on a stock market, on a stock exchange, you have to pay a brokerage firm. You have to pay quite a number of fees in order to accommodate and do the trading. It doesn't seem that, well, there are fees that have to be paid with cryptocurrency, but it doesn't seem to be to the extent that it is on the stock market. Now, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but at least the people who are making the money in terms of the trading, if you want to trade cryptocurrencies, are not the traditional people that make money like the Wall Street brokerage firms or any of the brokerage firms that are, basically, getting their commissions based on stock trading. So, if more and more people start to it becomes a critical mass, it obviously is going to become a threat to more conventional or traditional ways of financial speculation.
Yeah. All right. Well, I as much as I love talking about taxes, let's go on to Russia drafts a bill to legalize currency trading on approved exchanges. This is on Bitcoin.com. The news of April 17th, 2018. So the regulations in another country. Some exchanges will be legalized. The Russia Deputy Finance Minister, Alexei Moisev, something like that, with a bunch of letters that shouldn't be going together, told reporters that his ministry supports the legalization of trade in cryptocurrencies on official exchanges. RNS reported on Thursday. We don't want to limit and regulate, but we will set some limits, he emphasized, adding that nothing will happen to those already possess cryptocurrencies. The publication conveyed. The deputy minister was further quoted saying, this is about the fact that buying and selling of cryptocurrencies will be somehow standardized. The general idea is that it will be necessary to buy and sell on official exchanges, as it will be declared, it will be legalized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Now, what's interesting about that is that earlier, Vladimir Putin basically said that he wasn't interested in cryptocurrency. He didn't think it was a good idea. I guess his advisors were telling him the same thing, but he's had a change of heart. And obviously, if the finance ministry is beginning to look into the possibility of having citizens trade and use cryptocurrencies as a method of wealth building. And again, it's all about decentralization. It's all about getting away, I think, in my opinion, from the supremacy of the U.S. dollar. Because in many of these cases, they're saying, it would seem to me that you don't have to look to American or Western European sources for investment. You can just look at our cryptocurrencies that we're creating here and just trade there. And you don't need to have you don't need to go overseas. You don't have to take your money anywhere. You can just do it right here within Russia, and you can go from there. So, to me, this is it's becoming more fascinating as I read into it. And the more I look into it, this is an emerging field. It is really wide open. It is the Wild West in some cases, in some ways. And a lot of the people that you've interviewed have been from Eastern Europe. You've interviewed quite a number of entrepreneurs, ICO entrepreneurs from Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
And you can begin to see why.
Yeah, a lot of them, and they tell me that they have a big push in education there on this technology. So that's probably why a lot of it is coming out of the Eastern European countries.
When you say a big push, you mean in terms of the technology, in terms of the
just the education.
algorithm?
Yeah, somebody when I was talking to one of the guys said that it's a big thing in schools now is to learn. They learn this at an early age. In colleges or high school or whatever, but he said that it's really pushed and it's really accessible for them to learn this, and which obviously helps a lot of people out.
Yeah. Well, when you think about the technology, the underlying mechanism of what the blockchain is involved, there's quite a lot of mathematics. I mean, it involves some of the most emerging fields of science, computer science, algorithms, the creation of this kind of security, computer security, artificial intelligence. I mean, it just runs the gamut. And to me, it's something that's over my head in a way. I'm beginning to get a better grasp on it, and it may take years. I know we had a fellow by the name of Phil Stokes, who was a historian of the cryptocurrencies, who's been following it carefully for many, many years. And he admonished us and the audience to take your time learning this. It takes a long, long time, and it takes a while and some experience to come to fully understand how the blockchain works, how the underlying algorithms are created, what problems they're supposed to solve. It cannot be done overnight. It cannot be done that quickly. So for the Eastern Europeans to say we're going to do a formal or create a formal education to learn this, that's saying something. And you have to wonder, where the center of gravity of financial growth is going to take place.
Yeah. It's crazy. A lot. There's so much going on. It's so hard to wrap your head around. I mean, you can't. There's no possibility of you wrapping your head around everything that's happening right now, because there's so many people that are going in so many different directions. And it's funny. I was watching a video the other day, 20 years ago, of the people on the Today Show, and somebody was trying to explain to them what the internet was, and it was ridiculous how silly they sound when they talked about the ampersand sign or the @ sign. They didn't know how to say @ It was like a with a circle around it. And so
Yeah.
it was just really funny to hear them talk about, you just, it's like somebody crawled out from underneath a rock and going, yeah, it was just really funny. I think if you search it on Google or something, you'll find it. But it's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you and I are the generation that, well, I guess baby boomers and immediately after that. But anyway, we're the generation that looked in things like pensions and 401ks and IRAs and all of the things that traditionally have been there in terms of investing. You invest in a house. You invest in these kinds of things that were traditional ways of making money. But when you talk about to millennials, and you were making the point about a client that you were talking to who wants to hire more millennials because they are familiar with this kind of technology and this kind of money. Well, to them, things like owning a house, IRAs, all of the stuff that we took for granted, they don't have.
No.
That's done.
No.
They're not going to have access to them. Owning a home, which we took for granted, they can't. It's beyond their capacity. So they're looking at different ways to be able to save. I know my son. I know this is kind of anecdotal, but I take a look at my son, who's a millennial, who has invested in cryptocurrencies, and he basically has said, this is primarily the only real avenue that, in many cases, they can take a look at. He lives in the Bay Area, and buying a home, even though he has a good job,
God.
It's even beyond his capacity to think, and as it is for most of his friends.
Yeah.
But he understands cryptocurrencies a whole lot better than you and I have, because he was involved from the time he was a kid with the internet, with the kind of technology. He has a background in programming and hardware development. So to him, this is nothing foreign or something that's beyond capacity to understand. He's very comfortable, and he and his friends are extremely comfortable with this stuff and have no problem getting involved. They understand the risks, and they understand what they're getting involved in. But like they said to me, hey man, take a look at the stock market. Take a look at home prices and how they've collapsed. What you and I were told, and I remember this very well, and I'm pretty sure you can back me up. You can never lose, buying a home. Buying a home is always going to be the safest kind of investment you can make. Well, you and I are old enough to know that ain't true.
No.
So, you're taking a look at this. And I'm sure the millennials in places like Russia, Germany, and Hong Kong are saying the same thing. He says, look, we got to do something other than the traditional ways our parents and grandparents made money. And so this is it. And Russia and Germany and these other countries are saying, okay, we're gonna try to mitigate the problems. We're not going to tax it. We're not going to put a whole lot of regulations. They're much more laissez-faire than they are here in the United States with cryptocurrencies and crypto trading. So it's going to be interesting to see where all this money is going to move. It's going to be fascinating to see what new generations, which nations, new citizens or young people are going to be actually making money and becoming wealthier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is for them to realistically even have the opportunity to buy a house. They're going to have to get involved with cryptocurrencies unless they inherit a house. But I mean, you got 4 kids in a family. Only one kid's going to get that house, and more than likely they're going to sell the house, and it's going to be divided up 4 ways. That's not enough to buy a house. And
not at all.
They've probably got just a gigantic pile of bills anyway. So that money that they inherited is just going to go pay some back bills, and they're not going to get a house. So this seems like the only realistic way that if you're not independently wealthy, you didn't get some crazy job, and you're not living in the Midwest, or some of these flyover states where the houses, you can get a mansion for nothing. That you're not gonna you want to live in California, you want to live in New York or somewhere, you're not going to be able to buy a house.
Yeah. We have a pretty strong international audience for our podcast. And I would suggest if anybody's out there that doesn't believe us or is kind of skeptical or doesn't have a real understanding, there are websites that you can go to, and they will give you the average price of a home, sales price of homes. And I would suggest you go to San Jose, California. And I guess one of the places would be realtor.com, and start scrolling through and looking at what $2 million will buy. you know,
sounds like a lot of money. Sounds like a lot of house.
It is a lot of money.
It sounds like a lot of house, which is not.
It is not. You couldn't believe that these were maybe starter homes, I don't know, 40 years ago, that are now going for close to $2 million. And when you begin to understand that, or when you begin to see it, because of course if you're around the world, you may not be able to understand that, but you've got to see these things and begin to understand what a lot of our millennials and young people are facing, and the overwhelming odds that they're going to have to buy a home in an area that's, most desirable because it's growing economically.
Yeah, it's just crazy, and it's just like they always say, it's location, location, location. You looking at a house in Vegas a few weeks ago, toying with the idea of moving out there for what I could pick up for under $500,000, which was a 5-bedroom, almost 4,500 square foot home, gated community, pool, RV parking, backyard, putting green. It was phenomenal. And out here in Orange County, that same house would be $3 million.
At least, yeah. It's just incredible. So when you're looking at this, and like I said before, there's a lot of fear that's driving people into the cryptocurrencies. I mean, and I don't mean the kind of fear that's generated by, mainstream media. I'm talking about the fear that, look, I don't know what's going to happen to any of my investment. There are people that are 30 that are looking, let's say 20 years down the road, and they're saying, where am I going to be? How can I possibly begin to think about, even starting a family and purchasing a home? Well, I got to think of something else. And, you take a look at Bitcoin futures, and I suggest you're going to investing.com and take a look at, the prices of, it rose from just a couple $50 to almost 2,000 within 3 years. 2 years. It was just, It was crazy. And, I can understand now why people are moving to that. And it's certainly not just here in the United States. It's not just corralled here. It's all over the world that are, people of the same age are facing the same situation.
Yep. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen with my daughter. I mean, she's, unless she becomes some famous movie maker, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to hand her down anything unless unless these investments that I have in the crypto world, unless those turn around. And I'm not planning on pulling that money out anytime soon. I want to keep that going, and obviously keep investing in other technologies that I think that make sense.
Yeah.
So,
now, earlier today, you had an interview with Violet Lim about Viola and her token. Tell us more about that. I mean, what is the problem? I mean, I listened to the podcast, for a while. I mean, the lady is fascinating, but it's kind of like the same thing that Hickey, the Hickey coin was trying to do, was trying to find love or
well, I think the difference there is that she's working on artificial intelligence, but also, she's been in the love industry for a while with her other website, which was what the heck was that? It was like looking here real quick. Lunch Actually, which she based the name on the movie Love Actually, and it's it's like lunching, but she goes beyond just matchmaking. There's they try to groom you to be a better date. They try to groom you to be a better when you're dating, before you're dating, when you're going out on your first dates or whatever, they give you advice. And then once you're in a relationship, they give you advice how to stay in that. And then once you become married, they give you advice So they kind of, they stay with you a long time. It's not just, I mean, I don't want to, play down Hickey's, what they're doing there, but it's not just dating or trying to find you a date. It's how to be a better date, how to be a better partner, how to be better at marriage. And so it's like taking Dr. Ruth and sticking her in her computer, or sticking her on the blockchain, and it's like the Dr. Ruth on the blockchain with Dr. Phil and with Oprah and everyone trying to keep you a valuable dating prospect. And their AI, their artificial intelligence technology, learns your habits, and it learns the things that keep people happy. And like she said, she's been doing this for a long time. And I think that may be what's going to help them be better a company, and I think what people would want to jump on. So I think that people go to her other site, loveactually.com, and then obviously she pronounces it Viola, not Viola, which is I thought that was kind of weird, but Viola.ai. And see how there's a video on there. You can watch the video. I know they had some kind of a setback with the launch of their ICO, but I think it was just a glitch. But it seemed like they've got everything all cleared up there now.
Yeah,
so,
I like the lady. She was everything you said she was, and I very much enjoyed it. And,
yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we started doing this, we've met some extraordinarily interesting people. You went to a meet and greet, a blockchain crypto meet and greet the other night.
Yeah, I went to one last night in Beverly Hills at Hannah On's place at the District in downtown LA. Well, it was close to Beverly Hills. So I guess it's Beverly Hills. And it was, there were these companies in there talking about their technology and doing their pitch, and then there were other companies in there that are big companies. Let me pull up a couple here. Okay, so a couple of guys that I met. This one kid, Nicholas Juntilla, Juntilla. Wantita, I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, super cool kid, young guy, and he creates tokens for companies. And in fact, he is going to create the the Wonder Dog token. And
yeah, I'm so glad. I was trying to lead you into that, and I'm glad you brought that up. So
yes,
explain what he's going to do for us. It's sounding kind of.
We're going to have him on. We're going to do a live show on him actually creating the token for us, and we will be giving those tokens out to people. We'll be doing a little airdrop thing, I guess. I don't know how airdrops work, but we're going to be doing little airdrops of our tokens so that people can get involved with Crypto the Wonder Dog. It'll be the CTWD token. Hope everybody gets excited about that and wants to jump on board with us on that. So stay tuned for that show. There was another guy that I met, Andre Urena, Urena, head of Latino Strategic Partnerships, tokensales.uula.io. He has a couple of kids up from El Salvador that were talking last night, and they'll be on the show probably tomorrow. I'm going to do a show with them and talking about their company, which it helps launch ICOs. It takes your ICO and makes it polishes it, kind of like what Viola does with her. They polish you as a dating prospect. This polishes your ICO to make it more attractive to investors and things like that. So,
and that needs to be done because, like we've mentioned before, we have to be, full disclosure. I think half of ICOs fail. And so there's going to have to be a need for somebody to come in and say, well, this is what you're doing wrong. And, we have to mention it, folks, that this is still a very risky, as everything else, there's risk and there's going to be volatility. So, and you have to be aware of that. So as full disclosure and doing our due diligence, you got to be aware of it. You got to listen to it. Now, with this conference, could anybody go? Could any of the listeners?
Yeah, you had to be invited. First, you have to knew that it was going on. It was a ticket at the door. I think with dinner, I think it was like $1.25, something like that. So we didn't stay for dinner. We were only there for the talk, and then the cocktail hour afterwards. Talk with people, and then I had to take off. But there's other ones coming up. I will be working with a lady, Anu. And I don't want to butcher her last name because she's super nice lady. Women in blockchain and the everything that she is working towards. It really involves women, empowering women with the blockchain and empowering people to to women get involved with this. Bard, I believe her name is pronounced Bardwaj. And like I said, she was great. We hung out with her last night. Let me go over to her. Founder at Women in Investing in Women Digital, the State of Women Radio and TV Network. She studied at the Indian Institute of Technology in Bombay. Founder of Women Investing in Women. Founder of Venture Catalyst Private Equity Partners.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been in this game a long time. She's very knowledgeable. She just got back from a month-long tour in Europe, talking at various shows and trade shows and events. So she'll be on really soon. We'll be doing some shows with her. And empowering women, getting women involved with this more and more and more.
Now you go to a lot of these meet and greets, a lot of these conferences.
I will be going to. I've only been to just a handful, and it's so cool. Everyone I go to, I've met a few people that I see now regularly, and everyone that you meet, everyone is super nice. I haven't met one jackass yet. Everyone that I've met has been really nice.
Well, the reason I'm asking you is because our listeners may be interested in also going to these types of conferences.
I think they should. I think everyone that goes to these, they're very helpful, they're very informative. No one is trying to be a Mr. Know-it-all. Everyone is very forthcoming with their information about their technology, with their what they're doing and how they're doing it. It's like they said, decentralized and blockchain and being transparent. Everyone's very, very happy to share what they have and to help somebody else out. They always say, hey, well, how can I help you out? And it just seems to just kind of grow and grow and grow. And I think that's, it's great.
Yeah. Because, it's great to have our program. And I tell people, you got to listen to our program because we do in fact bring quite a number of people on. We try and elevate we try and speak about, overall, macro events like taxes and regulation as well, and comparing them among the different countries. But I don't think anything can match actually going and talking to the people who are creating these ICOs, creating the tokens, and why they are good investments, and from there, if you can do that, it'll help you make a better decision. And that's one of the things that I find that's why I keep asking you about this, because I think it's really important for our audience that they have access to these things, to these events, and to these people. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, Eventbrite seems to be sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Eventbrite seems to be like the location where a lot of these are. You can find these up on the screen right now. I have the event. It was last night, and of course it says ended. It was Beverly Hills Blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ICOs, hosted by Stephen Mead. Met him, super guy. It was $125. So it was, if you wanted to be invited to the dinner. And there's a video from the event that's already on here. A keynote given by Stephen Mead. You can watch that. If you happen to find this on Eventbrite, please join our official meetup group, and you can join that group, and you can be invited to a lot of things. Also, over at CoinDesk, there's also another event calendar on CoinDesk coindesk.com/Bitcoin-events. And you can find a lot of events that are happening right here. Like there's the one that's going to be closest to me soon. Looks like Santa Monica, April 20th. Start Engine ICO 2.0 Summit. So that might be something I might be interested in going to see. There's another one, April 30th through May 2nd, the Crypto Invest Summit. I think I may be already on that list to go to that. May 5th, State of Digital Money in Los Angeles. They've got some in San Francisco, but I mean, these are all over. Blockchain Law Summit, that'll be May 24th. One in San Diego, CryptoCon. I think this is probably going to be the fun one. May 25th through the 27th in San Diego. Silicon Valley closest they're going to have Santa Clarita, San Francisco, London, Amsterdam, Germany, Dubai seems like to be a fun place to go. Las Vegas.
Well, the thing is, Vegas. I know Vegas would be a big one. So it's not just for our American listeners. We can have foreign listeners that can also take advantage of these kinds of events. And it doesn't seem as if they're that expensive to get in. I mean, I remember talking about the.
I've seen some that were like, it was $500 to $1,200 to attend. So some of these aren't cheap, but I mean, some of them are, they're free, but some of them, like I said, they're not cheap.
Yeah, well, take advantage of the ones that are free.
Yes.
And and at least even the ones that have a nominal cost, because even the last one that you showed, I think you could have gotten in for $20. And if you're truly interested in this kind of technology and understanding it better, I think $20 is a relatively cheap investment to make.
Yeah.
If that's what you're going to try and do. And when I meet you down there one of these days, I have to go to one of these myself because I have a bunch of questions, and it would be great if we could put together a panel that we could have several people come on and just answer questions that people would randomly give or have about this stuff. I'm hoping that we can put something like that together.
Well, we will be working with another company called. So cryptosmae.com is a cryptocurrency event planning company. Meetings and events for cryptocurrencies, blockchains, and ICOs. And I do believe they will be also starting their own meetups and events that'll be happening in the LA, Orange County, San Diego area. And if you want to get a hold of them, there's a contact form on their website, cryptosmae.com. There's an email here, rhonda@cryptosmae.com. The telephone number, social media coming soon. So if your ICO or if your company is looking to have an event, check them out. Cryptocurrency Strategic Meetings and Events. So,
great.
Yeah, cryptosmae. There you go.
There you go. Well, hey, you know what? This has been a really good I've enjoyed talking to you today, and
have you jumped on to mybookie.ag yet? Because I know you love to gamble.
I did, I did, and then but no, I haven't. But I'm going to
check it out. Mybookie.ag. They have a sports book. They have a casino. They have a live casino. They have a race book, and they also have gaming in here also. I'm actually on it right now, looking for it. Where is it? I saw that on here earlier. Maybe I was just reading that on one of their things. But you get there's the real video live casino, which is live blackjack, roulette, anytime you want. Baccarat, Super 6 games, table limits for every type of player. So sign up.
You know what? I got to tell you something. When I first started looking into sports gambling, because I never did anything other than that, and the thing that struck me is that this was years ago when I became interested, and I had to contact somebody in Costa Rica It at the time.
Yeah, it was all offshore. Yeah, yeah.
It was all offshore, and you had to set up an account. You had to get through Western Union. You had to send them your money, and
Which is scary.
which is scary. And I'm going to think that if we start doing blockchain, I know Eamon Donlan, one of our guests, who we're going to hopefully have again sometime soon.
Yeah, we were going to do a show yesterday. Yeah, but
yeah, he's talked about the blockchain taking over more and more of the of sports gambling, or gambling in general. But I think he specifically talked about sports gambling. And you got to wonder what is going to happen to all of these other, to Vegas and all the other places that have, they make a living.
Well, I think they may even start taking some crypto there. I mean, obviously Vegas is not going to go away. They wouldn't be building more and more casinos and hotel rooms if, because people still like to go and do that experience. But if you're like a hardcore gambler, you can't get to Vegas when you want to, or you don't want to go to an Indian casino, and you got a couple of Bitcoins burning a hole in your pocket, then I think these are the perfect places to go.
Yeah.
And especially if you can play with your crypto, and you have the ability to use this in live casino settings like roulette, blackjack, baccarat. Is it baccarat or baccarat? How do you pronounce that? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it's baccarat. But let me ask you something.
Like Bert?
If you Yeah, I think so. But when you think about it, I was going to ask Eamon whenever I speak to him, or I want his input on this. When you take a look at country, for instance, in the United States, it would seem to me that if you're going to do this kind of gambling, if you're going to do crypto gambling in the United States, you're going to get taxed twice. You would get taxed, I suppose, when you use the blockchain or the cryptocurrency to do this transaction, because if you've bought your crypto at a certain price and it's risen in price, I guess you have to pay the capital gains tax. And then if you win anything, you have to pay those taxes as well. But if you're gambling, let's say, for instance, in Germany or Russia, you don't get that capital gains tax imposed.
Yeah.
So it would seem to me that a lot of the gambling is going to move to where you have less tax, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk to Eamon and think about, because I know London has a huge bookie market, a huge sports gambling market, and it'll be interesting to see, if that's going to start moving to places like Germany and Russia, because again, if you have less taxation, and in fact no taxation in some cases like Germany, man, between one or the other, I guess I would go there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know enough about this, but I do know I want to ask somebody about this. So,
yeah, well, I'll have Eamon on, and maybe we can do a call-in with you, and you and him can sit and talk about that kind of stuff. Because he seems to be a very bright guy when it comes to sports and also technology. So,
yeah,
cool guy.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
It's been a great day. Thank you so much for having me.
Right on, man. Let's let's keep it going. Like I said, thank you to our sponsor, mybookie.ag, and if you guys have anything to add, shoot myself, Charlie, a line, question, comments, insults, whatever you want. Just send it over.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Just send it. Talk to us. We know you're there.
Talk to me. All right, man. Until
Thank you so
next
much.
time.
Take care of yourself.
You too, my brother. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you from everyone here at the Crypto the Wonder Dog Show. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And of course, the music still doesn't play. Wait, that was the wrong one. That was the wrong song. Let me try it again. Is this it? Have a great day and a better tomorrow. There it is. All right, guys.